From the silent dungeons of Enveron they come, flesh twisted by corrupted will, steel rusted by ancient blood. These are the Myria, reanimated servants of the Malagaunt, no longer alive, yet never truly dead. They do not serve by choice, but by the dark tether of Maladum. Hey, and welcome back to the channel. In today's Grimdark painting showcase, we'll walk through this process of bringing these revenants to unlife, layer by layer of grime, rot, rust and ruin. And along the way, we'll deep dive into some lore, torn straight from the corrupted pages of Battle Systems Maladum. I begin with Typhus Corrosion by Citadel, applying it to areas of exposed armour, metal and wood. This step isn't just texture, it's narrative. This corrosion tells the story of decay, of the weapons forgotten, of the armour left to rot in crypts beneath the world. From there I primed the models in black. Then I added a zenithal highlight with grey, followed by white to pick out the high surfaces. This provides depth before paint even hits the surface, accentuating the unnatural contours of these cursed forms. With the foundations laid, I turned to speed paints. Pallid bone coated the skeletal remains, giving them a brittle, dried appearance. Royal robes clung to the shredded remnants of once noble garments, now faded and soaked in time. For the weapons, armour and chains, I used enchanted steel, a metallic that shines just enough before the filth dulls it later. To show time's toll on the wood, I wet blended algae green and dark wood, creating a mossy aged gradient on the larger planks and also the vines. Dark wood added richness to structural pieces such as the shields, while algae green picked out the creeping vines that twisted around their ruined forms. Gravelord grey picked out other stone and non-metallic armour sections. Hardened leather brought contrast and detail to the straps and bindings, those last desperate ties keeping these monsters together. Now came the soul of the grime, the enamel washes. First, a full coat of Goon's grime washed over everything. After drying slightly, I used a cotton bud, one end damp with thinner, one end dry, to pull the wash off the raised areas. This leaves shadows steeped in filth and brings out natural highlights, as if the dungeon air had never left their skin. Next, Carrion Crimson, dried blood for the bones. I applied this in layers, especially to the joints and deep recesses. It gives that clotted ancient gore feel. If you let the pigments settle on a flat palette, it helps to control the intensity of this enamel wash. Then, using the reductive method, I wiped back the centre of the bones so it looked like dried blood receding, clinging onto the cracks and rot. To create aged cursed metal, I applied sector rust over all the steel surfaces. Using multiple coats, I build up corrosion and texture. Then I use the reductive method from the edges. This breaks down the uniformity and sells the idea that time has gnawed on these weapons like rats on bone. Lastly, Decay of Death. I thinned this 50-50 with enamel thinner. I applied this to the vines, the wood and a few of the deeper crevices on the skulls. It adds that humid fungal feel, like the Myria just don't rise from the graves they were grown in them. A quick blast with the hairdryer brings out the dusty finish, suggesting old mould, clinging spores, the stink of centuries. A last touch of fresh corrosion, just a hint of orange on the rusty metal, just applied with a torn sponge, pulls the whole palette together. Not too bright, just enough to show that the rot is still happening. These aren't relics, they're active vessels of decay. In the world of Maladum, magic is no arcane fantasy, it's reality. A power derived from the lost technologies twisted by time and madness. Those who seek to wield it, the Maladar, must temper themselves or be consumed. Many fail. Some go further still, embracing the madness, becoming a Malagaunt. And these forsaken masters of decay, death is just another tool, and the Myra are their legacy. These revenants are not summoned, they are reconstructed. Bone, wood, steel, bound by Maladum, animated by hate. They are not intelligent, but they remember. Their minds are broken glass, shards of past lives buried beneath layers of obedience and rot. They don't march, they lurk, driven not by strategy, but by the violent echoes of old commands, once guardians, now graveyard puppets. And that completes the Myria. Painting them was a dive into the rotten veins of Maladum itself, gritty, layered, and dark. A reminder that beauty can be found even in the most broken, brutal things, if you know how to pull it from the filth. Until next time, may your brushes stay sharp and your imagination even darker.